Alright, we've got the car all back together. Steering column's in it, the dash is in it, seats are in it. Put the carpet back, put all the trim pieces on. There's our pedals. Look just like factory. Okay, so I just wanted to show you what I kind of got here. This was about 110 bucks. It comes with the cable, the quadrant, and the firewall adjuster. And I like this cable because it had, at the transmission end, it's got an adjustment, and then at the firewall end, it's going to have some adjustment as well. So I kind of like that option. I don't know if I told you or not, but it was 110 bucks. There's the part number for it, for BBK 16095. I haven't even opened it yet, so that's the back. Look at them cool parts, headers and whatnot. But anyway, okay, so hopefully somebody didn't already buy this, but whatever, if they did. Any stickers? Maybe we get some stickers. Yes, we do have stickers. Good. Use those later. Alright, so that's pretty much it. So there's your firewall adjuster, the cable, and then here's the quadrant in here, I imagine. MAS 385. So there's a quadrant, and so I'm going to put, looks like the same thing. Yeah, it's like identical. Wow. So, I mean, I didn't, the reason I bought the whole kit was because like a clutch cable was like 40 bucks. And then I wanted the firewall adjuster, which was like another 30 or 40 bucks. So it's like, all right, well, there's 80. I might as well spend another 20 bucks and get the whole kit, and I'll know it'll work, you know. So anyway, I think I need to get some correctly sized washers and kind of space this properly, and then everything. I'll get it all set up, and then throw it back on the car, and we're going to do our we hook on this guy, not on this guy, I think. Yeah, on this one. Oh, one more thing I want to show you I bought. Hang on. The other thing I bought was I bought 2 new clutch and brake pads. They were only like $6 each. So there's the numbers on that one. And then this little guy, this is the clip. The clip that goes here in the transmission, you know, so you slide this through the transmission and then you clip it on, and it's retains it. So it's like a little snap ring. So that's part number. I don't know if that's the part number or not, but that's just a transmission clip off an 04 Mustang. So let me kind of get that set up. Okay, let me show you how to properly prep a BBK clutch cable for installation in the vehicle. So this is a C-clip that comes on there. We're not going to use this part. This would be if we had a stock Mustang Firewall with 2 holes drilled in it. Right now our Firewall has no holes drilled in it. So I'm going to take this C-clip out, like such, and then this assembly should come out. Like that, and then we're going to slide our blue aluminum cable or adjuster over that part. But now the important part. They say to lube this up, so I'm going to use just some brake lube. This is just, you know, silicone grease, and I'm going to extend the cable and then shove that all the way in. I'm going to flip it around to the other end. We're good to go. Let's prepare a BBK cable for installation. Okay, so here we are with the pedals mocked up, and what I've done is I've dimpled the firewall in the location I think I should drill the hole. And what I did here was I just kind of took this straight edge as a ruler, and I'm like, all right, so it needs to be right at the top of you know, right about, I don't know if you probably can't see that my fingers are in the way, but right, you know, this is where the cable's gonna hook in, right there. And then you can see a spot weld down in there, which is, can you see a spot weld in there? There's a spot weld, right? You can see it. Hang on. Yeah, it's right there. You see right above and to the left of that little stud. So I kind of use that spot weld as a reference point, and I can see that spot weld on the frame, or sorry, not in the engine bay. And then you can see that there's a kind of a dimple. You can see that it kind of dimples right there where those scratches are. That kind of dimples outward. So I went on the engine bay and looked for that dimple and that spot weld, and I'm like, all right, it needs to be the thickness of this ruler up and about 5/8 to the right towards the passenger side. Away from that spot weld, so you can see that the dimple's right there, and that looks pretty perfect to me. Actually, maybe this will be a good idea. I can, that looks about right. So I'm gonna go over here. So now we're in the engine bay, and you can see I kind of marked. There's the spot weld, and directly below it is the stud for the gas pedal that we trimmed. And there's this. This is the support for the wiper tray, and this kind of is right about where I think it should be, and looks like it makes sense with what the bracket like Pierre makes. That kind of, I think you pop rivet it to this wiper tray cowl, so I might have to come up with something like that. And get some glare there, but anyway, that's where I'm gonna drill the hole. And I've got like an 1.25" hole saw that I'm gonna use and drill that. Okay, so the hole's drilled, and this is what I use. I just used my cordless drill with the. I used this when I did my kitchen sink. I had to cut my sink for the faucet, but it turned out pretty good. I think that's pretty good. And like I said, I drilled from the outside of the car, but here we are with the hole in the firewall, and looks like it's in the right spot. You know, we're gonna route the cable through, and you can see the hole right there. You know, so I think we're not going to the moon here, so it should be fine. Now, I think I need to come up with a way. So here's the cable. The cable I routed. Where is it? There it is. There, kind of next to the ABS module, and then it goes under the intake there, and loops around to the transmission. You can see the transmission is right there. Where'd it go? There it is, right. You can see it right there. And so it's definitely long enough. It might actually be a little too long, but that's okay. And we're going to have to come up with a plate. I think I might go off that stud with like a little angle. I mean, shit, even a piece of angle iron might work, you know. I'll come up with something though. It's gonna have to. I think we're gonna come up with a way that our firewall adjuster. Now the firewall adjuster is gonna go in there. I think I'm gonna have to open up this hole a little bit more. I might get out my file and just or a grinder wheel or something and open it up a little bit more. Because this is, I measured this, it's like, it's not inch and it's not metric, it's like almost an inch and 3/8, but not quite, and it's almost 35 millimeters, but not quite, so I don't know what they were thinking there, but anyway, I think I'm gonna have to come up with a bracket for that, because the Firewall, either that, or just reinforce the Firewall somehow, but it's fabrication. This is the most fabrication that I think that this requires. So I was worried about this part. I knew I was going to have to come up with something, so we're kind of right in the middle of it right now. And like I said in my other video, well, yeah, you could just spend the $500 and have your pedals done for you, but and you wouldn't have to go through any of this. I mean, you'd still have to drill a hole, but I kind of showed you how to do that, and where to put it and whatnot. But $500 is a lot of money for me, and I've already spent a lot of money on this car with the rear end and everything, so I'm just going to try and save some money and do it myself. So let me think about it, and I'll kind of show you what I've done. Okay, so I opened up the hole using this file, a round file, and my little diamond, or whatever that is, a little stone on my Dremel tool. And I got I know I'm going to reinforce it a little bit more, but I got the Firewall adjuster in there, and the cable's hooked up. And you can see in here, there it is. And I got the cable hooked to it. Like that. And then we press the clutch. Pulls on it, you know, so we're getting there. It's definitely... Let me get you underneath. I'm gonna push the clutch if I can find it with my hand. There it is. So it's working. We just got to get it all in adjustment and everything, and reinforce that Firewall piece. So then we'll be in business, and the only thing left to do will be those two switches that I have to wait to come in. I ordered them from digikey.com, so we'll go over that when they come in. But I think we're getting there, almost there. All right, I just kind of wanted to go over what I came up with our Firewall bracket. So here's what I made. This is 2-inch wide, 3/16 inch thick plate, and I got a hole here. This hole goes on the stud that comes off the Firewall for the wiper tray support, and then this hole is a 1032. I tapped it for our Firewall adjuster, and then this little piece of angle iron I welded on. It kind of hooks behind the wiper tray lip, and we're going to put a bolt through and bolt it on. So that's kind of what I got going on here. Here's the Firewall adjuster that goes through, and then you put a 1032 screw in it so it doesn't move around. So I'll get this all installed in the car and then show it to you what it looks like there. I've taken the pedal assembly that I've got mocked up. I took it out of the car, and we have to do a couple more modifications to it. One of them is a clutch positive stop, I guess, so the pedal doesn't come all the way up, you know. So we're going to put a stop on there, and we're looking at the, you know, here's the front of the pedal box. So on the it would be the passenger side. We have this ledge. Here's the 2-inch section from the Mustang brake box we have on. But this ledge, I'm just going to take some angle iron. Here it is. This is just 1-inch angle iron, and I'm going to weld it on. Cut a piece like that, you know. That way, the clutch, when it wants to come up, it'll hit that, you know. So that's kind of what I'm going to do there. That's all that stopper is going to be. So we have to do that, and then we have to, you know, finish weld all this on. The other thing is we have to do the two switches, so we'll go over that today as well. So here's one of them. This is going to be our brake pedal switch, and then brake light switch, and then that actually fits right in this hole, so that's easy. And then we got to drill another hole for the other dual pole switch that we're going to go over later. So that's really pretty much all that's left. Oh, and then we have to do our brake pad. I think I might, not sure what I'm going to do with that. That actually doesn't seem like too bad of a spacing, but maybe we'll come off at an angle a little bit. I'll think about that for a little bit, but that's what we got to do. So I'm gonna get going on the angle iron piece. Just cut maybe like an 1.5 inch long section. Okay, here it is. I got it all mocked up for welding. So I just got a pair of vice grips holding it on. So I'm just gonna weld it on. Alright, now I'm gonna just kind of take the clutch out and weld up our, I gotta weld the support to the box and the pipe to the support. So I want to get the pedal out and make sure the bushings don't melt and stuff like that. So alright, some more continued progress on the clutch pedal and the pedal box assembly. So here's a completed clutch pedal. I guess I could have chopped off this section, but just in case we need to run a clutch safety switch in the future, I'm going to leave it unmodified. But as Pierre references in his videos, to shorten up the pedal, you just file this, there's a bunch of these round holes. You file out this round hole carefully to be square hole. So I painted this one in gloss black. I'm going to put a new pedal pad on it. I've got the brake pedal over here hanging. I just painted it. So if you remember, we did this little paddle on the left side, and I put that hole in there because I put the hole. I drilled the hole in our pedal box. If you look. So there's really going to be 3 switches. There's going to be our, I think this is the ABS switch, the brake light switch, and then this little guy I'll go over with you in a second. That's going to be the cruise control switch, I believe. The brake pedal switch I bought is, here's the part number here. It's a standard, here's the part number, SLS66. Switch. So it's got I think it's got a 5/8 threaded, and that fits right in the, right in there. And when we have the brake pedal in, that's gonna ride, right on this little paddle, right about here. And then that hole I put in there, what I did is I've got another. I'll go over that my little switch in a second, but the little switch. That's our dual pole switch that controls the 3 wires. See, this one only has two spade terminals for the brake light, power in, and then when the switch is open, power out to the brake lights. So, but the other one has 3 wires, so that one goes in here. And I'm going to put a 1/4 inch bolt We're gonna put a 1/4 inch bolt in this hole, and I'm gonna, you know, kind of have a nut on this side and a nut on this side, and we'll kind of tune in the length of adjust the length of that bolt, and then kind of tighten down those 2 nuts when we get that little switch. And then the same thing here. This one, as opposed to having a bolt, this one just has a real long threaded section where you can control the depth with the 2 nuts that came, just 2 nuts that came in the box. So as far as the pedal box is concerned, I had it all mocked up, so you saw that, but now it's all kind of finished welded. I welded in our angle iron, and I welded in the tube in 2 spots there, and 2 spots on the top. And then I've got our supporting bracket mounted, welded on the top, and then on the inside we also welded it there. So not the best TIG welder, but you're never going to see these, and they're strong. You know, I'm not worried about the strength. Just my welds aren't always pretty. It takes practice. So so next thing I'm going to do is get this painted, and I'm going to put the bushings all in, and I'll put a little bit of grease on the bushings. Here's the bushings. I'll get my new quadrant installed. I've got some spacers picked out. I need to go get another cotter pin for this end, but I think I might have a cotter pin laying around somewhere. But we'll kind of get the pedals all ready to go. I'll put my new pads on, and then I'll go put the pedals in the car and adjust the clutch, and then all we got to worry about is the gas pedal. So we'll get to that when we get to that. All right, so my dryer just finished. So what I've got here is I've got my pedal assembly pretty much complete. All I got to do is snap in this switch. But I've got two switches installed in it. I've got the brake light, and I've got the cruise switch. And if you remember from our previous video, this switch is 2 switches in 1. So what I've got going on here is the same setup I did before in the previous video. So if you can see, let me just make sure that you can see. Yeah, you can, but let me just do this real quick. So this is kind of the setup I have. This is going to be the brake switch. You notice that there's 2 prongs on it, and this little guy here, you notice that there's 3 prongs. That one's going to be the cruise control switch. And if you look down in there, you can see that there's just it worked out that the 1/4 inch bolt head, and you can see the 2 buttons. You can see that there's the white button farther back, and then there's this black button that's gonna hit that bolt head. And it's also hitting that white button as well. So with the pedal all the way up, both buttons are pressed. Okay, so what I've got is the brake pedal. The brakes are off right now because the vise is not tight. And I have my meter on continuity mode, so pins 1 and 2. Remember, pin 1 is the one closest to us, have no continuity. So let me measure the brake light switch. With the brakes off, with the pedal all the way up, I have no continuity. Now I'm going to apply the brake with my hat. Let go. You can hear the buzzer because I'm applying the brake. How'd you like that for only doing 2 hands? All right, so we know that that works. Let me apply the brake in our factory switch, and we should get a beep. I'll take the brakes off. So that's easy. So we know all we got to do is wire pins 1 and 2 to these 2, and we'll be good. Now let's check. We're always going to have a middle pin, so we're going to hook our black alligator clip on the middle pin of the little switch. So let's go back to this guy. So we know our brakes are off right now. So if I remember correctly, it was pins 5 and 4. Yep. And then with the brakes on, it's pins 3 and 4. Yes. Yes. So with the brakes off, that's how it is now. The brakes, excuse me, the brakes are off. That was all the way up. I want pins 5, 5, and 4. So let me hook our black onto the black. So now we're hooked up. And so with the switch up, with the pedal up, I'm going to see if it's the left one or the right one. Alright, it's not the left one. Let's try the right. What am I missing here? There we go. So it's the right one when the switch is, when the brakes are off, and then the left one I'm holding it on. No noise, I'm gonna press the brake. And now that one's getting it. So I should write that down. So our right pin is gonna, okay, so our middle pin's going to get soldered to pin 1, 2, 3, 4. So the middle pin gets soldered to 4. That's easy. And then, just like in here, no, that's actually a little bit, I got the switch in a little bit backwards. It's 180 degrees out, but that's okay. It just happened to be where I tightened the nut inside that little switch. But anyway, so with the brakes up, it's pins 5 and 4. So the right one's going to get wired to pin number 5, middle to 4, and then left to 3. So that's what we're going to do. And the switch that I bought, I kind of went over the brake light switch was standard switch number SLS66, and then I went on digikey.com and I bought, this is a single, that's what this SPDT stands for, single pole dual throw. And here's the part number of the switch that I picked off DigiKey. Maybe you can read it. There it is. CKN4018-N like Nancy, D like Delta. Alright, so that's kind of I think we're at the point now where we're ready to put it in the car. I just got to find a cotter pin right here. I forgot to do that last night, but we'll put our new quadrant on, get it all cotter pinned up, and then we're going to go drop it in the car. So stay tuned. All right, forgive me. My neighbors are making a bunch of noise, but I've got the pedals in the car. Actually, they look pretty factory to me. It looks pretty good. So we got the clutch in. You can see our adjuster. I just got to hook the cable up to it. The brake's hooked up. You can see our 3 switches there. I checked continuity already. Here's the connector I'm talking about. This little guy, this little one I'm going to plug into that white and blue switch, so that's easy. And then this other connector, this 5-pin one, this is the one that goes into the brake light switch. So here's the red wire on the left is pin 1, and then the black wire on the right is pin 5. So I'm going to snip them right about where my finger is and crimp on these spade terminals and put that onto the brake light switch. So that's step number 1. All right, we're waiting for the soldering iron to heat up so I can solder the brake light switch. So I just wanted to show you what I did here. The sun is setting again. It's doing that on me, so I'll try and... There you can see that the shifter, we got this duct in. So just cut a hole in the duct for the shifter and kind of taped it. But it's actually dynamatted, but we dynamatted the shifter to the floor, you know, to the tunnel, transmission tunnel, and then we dynamatted because you have to cut into this duct a little bit when you cut the hole. A lot of people just leave this out, but I figured, we'll put it back in. And you see it clips in. There's a clip there, and a clip there, and this wiring harness clips into it too. So just wanted to go over that real quick. And then you can see we're getting there with the solder. So we got the brakes, the blue and white switch hooked up, the brake switch hooked up, and then trying to get that's the middle wire, so that's pin 4. Pin 5 would be on the right because that would be the brake up continuity side, and then the switch on the pin on the left, that would be pin number 3, so that would be the brake down continuity side. So I'm just going to get those 3 wired up, and then our pedals, the brake and clutch should be in. I just wanted to maybe put a spacer with this cotter pin back in here for the brake lever. There's a spacer I think I need to put on, and then the cotter pin, I'll put that back in, and then that'll be hooked up safe. And then we'll move on to hooking up the clutch, and then we have to make our little 1 bolt, 2 bolt, and then the 3rd bolt in with the stud back there. So we got to do our gas pedal bracket. That's next. Alright, so I've got the clutch all the way in, so you can see there's our adjuster. I had to have the adjuster this far out because it was hitting the clutch pedal on the inside, and I'll show you that. But we've got it engaged with that stud down there. Maybe, yeah, right there you can see the studs going through there, and we got it through the little clip in our wiper tray. And then in the car we got, you can see it's hooked on nice. And then from the side view, maybe I could have had it be a little lower. You can see it's kind of pulling up a little bit, but when I push the clutch, and there's our stud that clears nice. So there it is. We got the brake hooked up. There's our cotter pin, and everything turned out fine. It's all welded and painted, and as far as the spacing goes, I mean, looks like it came out of the factory. So next is the gas pedal bracket. Okay, it's getting kind of late in the evening, so I just wanted to fit this one more time before I finish welded my gas pedal bracket. I'll show that to you in a second, but this is what it's going to look like. I think that looks pretty good. I mean, you can see up in here, I made, this connector goes right in there, so that'll be nice, but I made a plate and a plate back there, and it's supported by a 1-inch tube, but you know, it clears the clutch. Nowhere near that would come nowhere near the clutch, so we're good there. And I think I'm just gonna, you know, run it like this, and I'll go over it with you in a second when I finish weld it up. So it's getting dark out, so we can't really do much more out here today anyway. All right, we're getting ready to finish weld up our little pedal bracket here. So what I had done is this is just the Lowe's 2-inch stock 3/16 strip. I think here it is 3/16 by 2-inch, 3 foot. I think it was like, I don't know, $12 or something like that. So I took a length here and then a length here, and I just welded them together and ground the seam flat. And then I took the same thing here, a length here and a length here, welded them together, ground the seam flat. So this part goes onto the Firewall, and I used the pattern off of the mounting bracket, and then I cut it 4 inches long. This is a 1-inch square tube. This is also from Home Depot, so it's 4 inches from here, and then I just it's going to be in the car just like this. So I've got this tube all the way against this edge, so it's all the way to the left, and then I've got the gas pedal plate all the way to the left as well. And you can see that I've got the edge a little bit above the lower mounting hole. And then we've got 3 bolts to go through our pedal. So and this angle is just a 45. So I just used the 45, and that seems to be just fine. Looks actually really good. So I'm gonna get you set up, and I'm gonna finish weld around here and paint it, and that's it. I think we're ready to throw the car back together and fire it up. So I'll let the paint dry overnight, and hopefully we'll be starting it up tomorrow. So that's good. All right, that should be a good angle for you. Let's get our filler here. Not bad. So I don't think I'm gonna do in there. I mean, I could, but it ain't going nowhere. So now we're just gonna let this cool, and I'm gonna throw a coat of paint on it, and we'll be done with the pedals. So mission accomplished there. Okay, so I just wanted to go over the gas pedal before I threw it in the car real quick. So I painted it last night, and this is what it would look, this is what it's gonna look like, side view. You can see the 45. The paint I used, I don't know, it must have, the brake box did this too. I think it's kind of cool. You can see that it like kind of shot some black on there, but I don't know if they used it, maybe the can I had was like defective or something. It's like they didn't put enough black pigment in it or something, because it's sometimes it's like a smoky color, and sometimes it's like black, and it's like a marble colored brake box. But whatever, I think it looks kind of cool. But anyway, you're never going to see that, so that's what it looks like. I got the 3/4 inch bolts in it. It's going to sit in the car like that. So just wanted to show it to you real quick. And I'm going to put the pedals in, and put the carpet back down, and put the seats back in it, put the steering column back in, put the dashboard back together, wiper tray, stuff like that. So I'll show you that stuff. All right, we've got the car all back together. Steering column's in it, dash is in it, seats are in it. Put the carpet back, put all the trim pieces on. There's our pedals. Look just like factory. There is a little bit of, I think that's fine. That's plenty of room. And gas pedals in there. Brake, clutch. We got our rag joint hooked back up again. Pedal hooked up. This little connector is for the power pedals. I've got a little thing planned for that connector, if you stay tuned. I'm not going to reveal my secrets just yet, but I've got an idea for what I can use that for. There's our bracket installed. You can see it back there. Looks pretty good. Shifter. Let me get in the car. Yeah. So I'm just gonna, I took the little shift lever out, and that'll be fine. and our little needle is just going to point at bottomed out, buried behind the 1 there. But I think second gear, you know, like I said, my knuckles are punching the dash, but we can lengthen this a little bit. But I think I might actually bring it back just a smidge. It's a little bit far forward, but that's no big deal. But yeah, we got our steering column in and steering wheel, and put the wiper tray back in. Power seats work, all that stuff. So, and there's the clutch buried in there, nice. You know, it fits real nice in there. And wiper tray's back in it. Wipers are on. Put brand new pair of wiper blades on. And I hooked up the battery, and the lights all work and everything still. So the only thing that I don't want to start it quite yet because I don't have the cats in it. And I still want to figure out this little guy. This is the neutral park drive range switch. So right now it's, well, almost in neutral. It's probably about neutral. So I could just plug this in with it in neutral and fire it up, which I might just do. Maybe we'll do that right now. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't think it'll hurt anything. I did it on this car. I started this car because I had to repair a leaking flex pipe, so I started it up with no cats on it. I mean, just going to throw a check engine light, but I'm sure we're going to throw check engine lights anyway. So I got to get the tuner out here and put the tune on. So I haven't done that yet. I haven't even hooked up the tuner to the car. So there's still just a little bit of odds and ends to do. But the car is officially swapped. I mean, it's all back together and ready to start up. So just a couple more finishing touches, and then we'll do a little first fire video.